Alright bro, look, last video, I covered the Raitai tournament from Baki. And in that video, I briefly mentioned the Death Row Inmate arc. And of course, I got a bunch of comments of people saying I should cover it. So here we are. But before we begin, if you're new to the channel, please like the video, subscribe, and if you want to listen to these audios as soon as I'm done recording them, consider becoming a member of the channel, where you will also get your name in every video. But if you want even more of JP, check out the Patreon, because that's where I plan on putting shorter videos like the Goku vs Kefla that wouldn't do well on my channel. The link will be in the description. Now another thing before we begin, a lot of you were mad that I didn't talk about Kaku vs Yujiro, and the reason I didn't put it in the last video is because I already talked about it in my Yujiro Hanma video.
But since I'm so cool,
JP talk too much. Presents Yujiro forcing an old man to stop his heart intentionally so he wouldn't die. And yes, I know that sentence made 0 sense, but welcome to Baki. Now Yujiro and Kaku pulled up to the arena, and Yujiro is looking enormous. They say this is peak brute strength versus peak technique. I say this is peak nonsense. And Yujiro throws the first punch, and we see Kaku fly off like a plastic bag blowing in the wind. And Yujiro, he only got the glasses. So bro throws the glasses and kicks, breaking Kaku's jaw in the process. Bro, why they show it dangling like that? Anywho, after fixing his jaw, Yujiro proceeds to pull the wildest cockback for a kick I have ever seen. Like, there is no way this is anatomically possible. And he landed that shit directly into Kaku's face. Bro got this man Kaku eating straight leather, foot to face, full contact. And Lord knows where Yujiro's feet has been. But ladies and gentlemen, Yujiro has done 0 damage with that kick because Kaku is using something called Shaori, which is why he's not taking any damage. Kaku walks up to Yujiro and was about to dog him until bro got scared of some hair and turned into a fucking pill bug. Anywho, bro gets back up, throws a punch at Yujiro, and had this man terrified. This nigga even had Yujiro up against the wall. Look at him, he's scared. Bro does not want to get punched by Kaku. Bro punches and demolishes the wall. If Yujiro didn't dodge, bro would have been cooked. Even after seeing that, Yujiro took 2 hits from him and didn't even get damaged. Actually, this nigga starts showing all 32 of his teeth, laughing like a fucking lunatic. Bro flips Yujiro, and when he saw that Yujiro was still laughing, man's tossed his wheel at his ass. Mind you, he got this shit from his wheelchair, which he jumped out of, breaking the entire thing. Anyways, Kaku goes and punches Yujiro again, but Yujiro didn't take any damage because he used Shaori. Mind you, Yujiro just learned what Shaori was. And then bro was like, I am never using this shit again. Bro goes, cock backs his hand, and sends Kaku flying. And ladies and gentlemen, may I remind you, this old man is 126 years old, and Yujiro does not give a flying rat's ass. He is gonna go full force against this old man. Kaku lands, only to be confronted by Yujiro's fist coming for the wildest uppercut since Baki had that one guy floating. And bro was ready to throw another hit, but Kaku kicked him, forcing him to block. After this, bro runs, punches Kaku, and got countered by a kick to the face. And look at the kick this man retaliated with. Bro had Kaku wrapped around his legs, bruh. And bro hits another uppercut that turned Kaku into a Beyblade, followed up with a punch to the face, sending Kaku to the wall. Kaku weaves the next punch. He just started dogging this man. Smacked Yujiro with the 4-piece chicken nugget combo with a side of one of them dry biscuits. Yujiro tried to retaliate, and Kaku's like, matter of fact, you get no beverage, and countered. After yelling at Yujiro and calling him a boy, bro decides to pull out his demon bag. And ladies and gentlemen, when a hanma decides to pull out his demon bag, the fight's immediately over. But Kaku didn't know this, so he starts going ham on Yujiro, bruh. Uppercut, left, right. None of it was doing shit to Yujiro. Bro even got his hands in his pockets while this old man is wailing on him. Yujiro, getting tired, just lifts his hand, claps this man's ear, and followed it up with a punch. If that shit had landed, Kaku would have been done. But after the medics came, they pronounced that Kaku Kaioh was dead. Except what Kaku did was stop his heart somehow, so Yujiro wouldn't kill him. And when they got backstage, bro got up and walked away like nothing happened. So yeah, that was Yujiro beating up on an old man. Now let's get to the topic of this video. 5 different death row inmates, without any knowledge of each other, decides to break out of prison in the most bombastic way they could think of. Find their way to Japan to taste a defeat. Now we're gonna be going on a character by character basis, following each inmate to when they finally tasted defeat. And I'm gonna start off with Doyle, because I think he's one of the most interesting inmates. Now Doyle's bombastic bombastic escape starts with the electric chair. They tried to fry this man from the inside out and it did not work. Bro got behind the first 2 security guards and smacked their heads together. And by the time the last one pulled out his gun to shoot, man's face was already destroyed by a punch. And Doyle is like, if you guys had waited like 10 more seconds, I would have been dead. But nah, he decides to head to Tokyo, Japan. When he gets there, the first thing he does is attack this random boxer that's just training. And when bro went to grab his collar, he gets his hand sliced because Doyle got a bunch of razor blades in his collar. While the boxer was busy being flabbergasted, Doyle proceeds to slice his throat, ending him. Now after this, Tokugawa got all the other inmates to meet up and introduces everybody to each other. And everybody agrees, for this arc, there are no rules. Anybody from the opposite side can attack anybody else, anytime. Middle of the night, doesn't matter. You taking a shit, it does not matter. You getting attacked. Now after this, Doyle decides to pull up to Baki while he's in school. Mans is being lectured by his teacher, and bro's like, your muscles can only get you so far. You will never be able to jump high enough to reach this window from the first floor. Meanwhile, Doyle pulls up using that exact method, bursting through the window. Bro lands and poses. Like, you didn't have to do all that, bro. The teacher pulls up like, excuse me, sir, and got backhanded into oblivion. Baki pulls this fake ass crying act, and then double kicks this man Doyle right along with the desk. And bro just dipped out the window afterwards. Now the next time we see Doyle, bro pulls up on Oliver wearing this female police officer's uniform. Why he didn't grab a male one, I don't know. Bro was just feeling himself that day. He even made sure to put on some lipstick to look good. Now Oliver decided to make the mistake of drinking whatever this man brought him. And when Doyle took off his wig, Oliver was flabbergasted. Like, hey bro, he didn't know. So you're telling me this man got fooled by this 6 feet tall, muscular, strong-jawed ass nigga in a wig. And you was looking at a picture of him. Bro tries to throw the coffee at Doyle, but got countered and had that shit splashed in his face. Followed by Doyle slicing this man with his blades. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is where we notice that this man is wearing some cheetah print underwear. And this is why I decided to do Doyle's story first, because there's some lore behind them underwear, don't worry. Now Doyle starts yapping. And again, look at this wide-bodied, big and tall, built-ass nigga. How could you not tell he was not a female?
Beat yourself up. You're not the first man unable to tie me down.
What did he say?
Nigga, what? Yo, this man is straight up zesty, dog. Oliver starts combing his hair so he could look good while he beat Doyle's ass. But once he's ready to fight, man's just falls. And he's confused. And it's because Doyle's blade was coated in a powerful hallucinogen. Bro proceeds to kick Oliver straight in the mouth with the heels. And when bro got back up and started walking towards him, he put the same move on Oliver that he did when he first escaped. Had that man falling head first to the ground. Bro thought he had Oliver. Until his ankle got grabbed and Oliver spins him around like a helicopter and spikes this man in the ground, shaking the entire building. Luckily though, Doyle protected his head before he hit the ground, but mans was still down there twitching when he was done. Oliver goes to pick him up, only to get cut by the razors in his collar, punched in his face, and then stabbed. While Oliver was over here flabbergasted that he got stabbed, Doyle hops in the air and start comboing his ass, sending Oliver to the ground. Bro gets up, pulls the knife out, and by the time Sonoda and Shibukawa got in the room, Doyle had already escaped. Now, who here enjoys riding the train? So does Doyle. He just has a weird way of going about it. I swear these inmates always find the strangest ways to do the most normal things. Now directly after this, Oliver decides he wants a black belt in judo. Why? I don't fucking know. He just says he wants a black belt. So they took him to Shibukawa students. And when I tell you this man violated them students, bro took the biggest one and started spinning that nigga around, tossing him to the ceiling. Bro took another one and just started holding him over his head. That nigga Sonoda was heated. Shibukawa, witnessing his students get violated like this, decides to challenge Oliver next. Oliver tosses him only to end up with his right hand mangled, but Shibukawa still gave him a black belt because he did prove himself. So yeah, Biscuit Oliver is a black belt in judo. Now the next time we see Doyle, he's showing Stratum all his enhancements, which are the copious amount of blades this man has installed in his body. Mans is basically Genos. While he's doing that, this dude Shinogi pulls up, wanting to fight, and immediately pulls a power play on Doyle. When Doyle decides to stand up, bro ended up with 5 toes to his throat. Mans had Doyle looking like one of them cockroaches fresh after you sprayed it. That shit looks painful. Doyle gets up and goes on the attack, about to use one of his blades, only to get countered with the elbow straight to the throat again. Hit me in the throat once, shame on me. Elbow me in the throat again, shame on you. Ladies and gentlemen, would you believe that Doyle got caught in the throat again a 3rd time? After this, you gotta go. Or actually, Doyle, pull out the blick, bro. I know you're probably carrying one of them somewhere. Shinogi made the mistake of getting close to Doyle on the floor and got his face blasted for it, knocking his jaw loose. Bro fixes his jaw and gets ready to pull off his ultimate technique. So Doyle takes out all his blades. While they were both standing there in their stances, Shinogi starts losing it because he wants Doyle to attack first so he could counter, but bro's not doing anything. While panicking, he decides to attack Doyle first, only to get blasted in the face. Hey, whoa. Bro basically got hit with a uni beam. Stridum over here was flabbergasted. Bro did not know Doyle had an explosive on him. Now after this, we pan to Baki that night. Mans was about to get some cheeks. Well, he was actually very nervous. So Yujiro pulls up to give some fatherly advice. And bro had Baki spooked, like where did he come from? After giving Baki and Kozue his blessing that nobody asked for, bro walked off into the night like he was Batman. Now the next time we see Doyle, he runs into Retsu. And this will be Doyle's biggest mistake. They go to a bar to have a drink. And bro tried to use that as an opportunity to cook Retsu. Only for Retsu to pull a Uno reverse on him and stabs him in the eye with the kunai. And then bro's like, there's more where that came from. And turns this man into a pincushion. Doyle tried to run outside, but Retsu wrangled his ass, making him fall, digging the kunais even deeper. Retsu walks this man down and stood on top of him like a complete demon. So Doyle squirts blood into his eyes. When I tell you this man wasn't even phased, bro got mad, tied Doyle up with the rope, and proceeds to pull out this big ass sword from his bag. Doyle is terrified at this point. And when Retsu starts walking towards this man, doing tricks with the sword with one hand, bro tried to run. But remember, Retsu got this nigga caught. He can't go anywhere. So Retsu catches up and give him the Luffy special. Doyle runs away, making Retsu even more mad. So he chases his ass down until Doyle decides to use a smoke grenade, gets the jump on Retsu and stabs him in the back. And Retsu respawns with 4,000 years of Chinese rage. Doyle got demolished.
Man, I fell down to my knees when the law came.
Doyle is on the ground, and bro starts putting in his reservations like, damn, is this what defeat tastes like?
Nah, that's not enough.
So Retsu starts pulling out something from his pants, a collapsible staff, and man started going wild. But he was just removing the kunai. Doyle, while on the ground, starts yapping, and bro tried to pull the same fire trick that he used on Shinogi, only to end up with Retsu's foot in his mouth. And then he just started whacking the fuck out of him with the staff. Looking at this, bro, I would never want to be on the receiving end of 4,000 years of Chinese rage, cause Retsu really went ham on this man. But right when Retsu was about to finish Doyle, he gets stabbed with a needle. And it's none other than Jack coming in for the save. Now after this, Doyle makes one of the most interesting choices in this show. He decides to protect Retsu from these two goobers who tried to rob him. Bro pulled a couple of Uno reverses and sent them niggas packing. Once Retsu wakes up and notices what Doyle has done, he decides he needs to get this man treated as quick as possible. So when bro happens upon a lake, he decides going to the bridge is too much work. Or rather, it's too far away. So he has a better idea. Run across the water. Ladies and gentlemen, this is peak Baki logic right here. Anywho, bro ends up getting Doyle the help that he needs and cooks food for this man. And again, I do not care what you guys say, Retsu is best waifu. Anywho, Doyle didn't stay long, cause bro came back to the dojo, thanks Katsumi and the Shinshinkai dojo for donating their blood and saving him. And then bro proceeds to blow up the entire dojo. Right after that, bro runs into Dopo, and Dopo's like, bro, like it's the darndest thing. Oliver went out for a midnight stroll and got struck by a meteor, and Retsu fell into a crack during an earthquake and died. I guess it's up to me to beat your ass. He throws his hat, and by the time Doyle sliced it, man's had Dopo's entire fist up to his face. After pulling off this power play, he leads Doyle somewhere so they could fight. When they get there, Dopo just starts talking shit and rage baiting the fuck out of Doyle. Bro gets so mad he attacks only to be blocked, and then gets pummeled by Dopo. After this, bro wakes up somewhere to find no one else but Katsumi sitting waiting for him. Katsumi kicks this man in the face, and bro's like, I'm gonna keep knocking you down until you admit defeat. Bro wakes up again, and Katsumi is reading this time. Bro tosses the book and told him to come on. And when Doyle attacks, bro gets blocked and then countered by getting demolished by straight feet, dropping him. The next time bro wakes up, Katsumi is getting treated by a doctor. They give him some food, and while eating, Katsumi rage baits him. So he attacks, only to get his foot swept and dropped. And then bro hits him with the final downward strike. When Doyle wakes up again, Katsumi is gone. And the student left there to give him the message tells him, yeah bro, Katsumi said you win. After all of this, Doyle did have a change of mind and became close with Katsumi. And he was planning to leave Tokyo, to which Katsumi helped him out. And that's when Doyle ran into Yanagi, who ended up blinding him completely. After this, bro goes into a cave. And who else but Oliver decides to pull up in the cave. How he found Doyle, I don't know. Alright broski, hand him over. Huh? You heard me, nigga. Hand them over. What? The leopard print, my nigga. Hand them over. I'm here to get them. What? I don't even know what you're talking about, bro. You gonna have to get them from my cold dead body. Doyle throws a punch, which did nothing, resulting in him getting grabbed and given the hug of doom. Bitch ass nigga, you going home with your balls in the wind. Now, the reason I mentioned these leopard print underwear is because later in Baki, when Baki goes to prison and challenges Oliver to a fight, he got on the same underwear. Now, I was fine with stopping there, but when I went to Reddit, I found this conversation. Somebody says Yujiro also has some leopard print underwear. Somebody else responds, there's only one leopard print underwear in Baki, and Oliver lends it to Yujiro whenever he needs it. Now, somebody else came and expanded the lore even more. Yujiro arm wrestled Oliver and won, and apparently for his prize, it was the leopard print underwear that he stole from Doyle. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Ryuko Yanagi, one of only 2 prisoners in this arc that actually met Yujiro. Now, how did we get to the point where he's getting his jaws demolished by Yujiro? Well, this is the story of Yanagi. Bro is so dangerous, they put him in a glass cage with nothing but his ass out. They also say that glass is strong enough to handle an RPG being launched at it. So Yanagi pulls up, puts his hands on the glass, and demolishes it. Chops the first guard, and blows the other guy's entire organs out of his ears. And then he heads to Japan. First stop is Shibukawa. They have a conversation, and as a power play, Yanagi throws a boiling pot at this man and has a weapon pointed at his face, telling Shibukawa he ain't shit. Now, the next time we see this man, he pulls up to Baki at school. Bro almost catches Baki lacking and had that nigga dodging for his life until Shibukawa pulled up out of nowhere, throws a pot of water at this man, and that nigga was freaking out until he realized that the water is cold. He tried to attack Shibukawa and got his jaws grabbed and spiked to the ground. Feeling humiliated, bro attacked Shibukawa, destroying his glasses and cutting him, cause bro had a tiger claw. After this, Shibukawa was like, yo Baki, help me jump this nigga, and they started jumping his ass. Had that man doing flips like he was Spider-Man. Bro calmly walks towards Baki and KOs him with one hand. Turns out, Yanagi has like 5 different ultimates, and one of them is literally using oxygen as a poison. Now, after the cops pulled up, bro ran away, stepping on Baki. Now we get a classic locker room talk from Tokugawa. You niggas suck. How did you niggas lose? You got your whole hand cut off. And Baki, you niggas, y'all jumped him. How did you niggas lose a jumping? Man, y'all niggas is sorry. He gets grabbed by Hanayama, and he's like, let go of me, nigga. Damn it. I put money on you niggas, got this shit. Now y'all got me losing all my money, bro. The fuck wrong with y'all? I was bragging to everybody that y'all was them, bro. Like, you niggas are supposed to be them. How are you losing? Now, after Baki finally did the deed with Kozue, this nigga pulls up literally the next morning, challenging Baki to a fight. And Baki beat the brakes off him. So he pulls out another ultimate technique. Whip strike. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is when he poisoned Baki. Now, unfortunately for Yanagi, Baki also knows how to use the whip strike and beats the brakes off him again. And the honorary shout out to Kozue for being best girl. She was literally throwing her setup, wanting to help Baki fight. You know, it's the thought that counts. Thank you, Kozue. After Yanagi got his ass beat, Sikorsky decided to pull up too. And unfortunately for him, he also got his ass beat, humiliated by Baki. And then both of them got bitch slapped, making Yanagi cry. After taking this L, Yanagi decides to pull up on Doyle while he was trying to escape and blinds him with the poison hand. He wanted to kill Doyle right then and there, but bro escaped into the water. Following this, Yanagi got a letter of challenge from Motobe. Bro gets to the park in the middle of the night and got completely humiliated. Bro gets stabbed in the leg with a sword, followed by Motobe demolishing half his mouth. And then bro's like, damn bro, not gonna lie, you kinda suck. I might have to just head out. And this enrages Yanagi, so he tries to attack only to get grabbed and tossed face first into this metal playground. And then bro gets his poison hand chopped off before even getting to use it. And when Motobe was ready to go for the killing blow, Yujiro comes out of nowhere, followed by Tokugawa shortly after. Yujiro goes on a yap session, of course, and before he leaves, bro backhands the fuck out of Yanagi, demolishing what was left of his mouth. And so Yanagi finally tastes defeat, or Yujiro's backhand. Now Spec, out of all the prisoners, was the first and quickest defeat, but his story is funny nonetheless. Just like everybody else, Spec made a bombastic drastic escape. Because this reporter decides he wants to go and talk to Spec. So they make him remove everything, including his belt. Unfortunately for him, when he gets to Spec, bro is not there in his cell. By the time he alerted the guard, bro was already done. And Spec escaped to the surface, murdering 5 more guards. After this, bro decides to pull up to Baki first. Now we pan to Baki, who's in the park dealing with literal lunatics. One of them got a ball and chain weapon. The other guy got a big ass machete. And the school bully even had a blink with him. Of course, all of them ended up failing miserably. The dude with the machete that he calls a knife pulls up but was stopped dead in his tracks when Baki somehow telepathically broadcast to his dome how he was gonna demolish his face with a punch. Baki made the dumbass with the ball and chain hit himself in the face, and the dude with the butterfly knife thought he could do tricks until Baki grabbed that shit and scared the fuck out of him. Now Buddy with the gun, seeing all his homies got dogged, points the gun at Baki, and that's when Spec pulled up. Bro grabs the gun and shoots himself in the mouth. I guess this was a form of intimidation or something. Bro pretends to introduce himself with a handshake, only for that shit to fall off, spooking Baki. By the way, that was the hand of somebody Baki knew. And then bro kicks him dead in his chest, plants Baki's head on the ground, and starts stomping on that shit. After the cops pulled up, Baki wakes up from getting stomped. But before Spec voluntarily allowed him to take him to jail, he reintroduces himself to Baki with a handshake, and then kicks the fuck out of him. Now after this, Spec proceeds to do some diabolical acts. First things first, he breaks out of jail, and it looks like this nigga ate the bar. He goes to a grocery store to buy some steamed buns, but remember, this nigga has no money, so of course he brutalized the cashier. Goes back to the jail they were holding him in, pulls up next to Sonoda taking a piss, and starts peeing too. Now Sonoda is flabbergasted that this nigga has the audacity, but bro out of nowhere offers him a steamed bun, and when Sonoda didn't take it, bro shoves it down Sonoda's throat. Mind you, 2 seconds earlier, bro was holding his meat. He didn't even wash his hands. And bro just shoved his finger down Sonoda's throat. Bro, that is just disrespectful. After this, bro tried to pull up on Baki while he's making out with Kozue. But before he got to do anything, the homie Hanayama pulled up for the save. Now they're squaring up, and Spec starts off with his usual kick. And in response, Hanayama decides to take his suit off in the most inconvenient way I could think of. Well, not for Hanayama, since he is strong as shit. He shows Spec his back, and bro likes the tattoo, but then attacks this man with a rock to the chin, whacks him in the face, and then smacked him again with his own shoe. And then bro picks him up by his face and then slams him in a light pole. And while Hanayama is getting up from the light pole, bro whacks him over the head with an entire bench. But Hanayama took that shit like a champ and is not ready to fight. Now we learned something interesting about Spec. Apparently this nigga got beef with the Statue of Liberty. Before coming here, bro went and demolished the base of the statue, and that shit almost broke apart. They had to get an entire team to hold it together. Spec starts the fight off with his ultimate move, the Apneo Rush, where he throws continuous hits for 5 entire minutes non-stop, and Hanayama's taking all of it. And when he finally retaliates, bro punches Spec, sending that man flying 10 states back. Gave that nigga an entire seizure. By the time bro caught his breath and looked up, Hanayama was already up in his face and dogs this man, dropping him. And when Spec says he hasn't had enough, bro punches him again. Hanayama walks him down, asks him if he's had enough. Bro didn't even get to respond, and he got his face rearranged. When Hanayama goes to pick him up again and ask him if he's had enough, this nigga pulls one of the most diabolical moves I have seen in anime. Bro grabs a handful of bullets, shove them in Hanayama's mouth, and explodes it. I swear, after that one, I know Hanayama was hearing colors and seeing sounds. He left that man smoking. Spec thought he had Hanayama and goes to punch him, but bro got grabbed, punched into a light pole, and fried! After getting cooked, Hanayama takes Spec to the police. Now when Hanayama gets in the car to go home, that shit would not move, cause Spec was holding it. He was not done. He flipped the car upside down. While Hanayama trying to get out, he puts his foot on this man's neck, and Spec just starts whacking the exposed part of his mouth with a baton. Hanayama of course gets peeved and goes to punch him, only for this man to respond with a blick and shoots off Hanayama's kneecap until the clip was empty. Ladies and gentlemen, this was not the end of it. Bro pulls out another gun, kicks Hanayama, and continues shooting off his kneecap. He still was not done. Bro grabs Hanayama off the floor and starts stomping on his head with full force. After this, he takes his gun, he puts it in Hanayama's mouth and shoots. But Hanayama, the dog, made the barrel go through the exposed part of his mouth for him to miss. And it was all over for Spec after that. Cause Hanayama flipped him, got on top, and started beating the brakes off this man. In the middle of getting his ass beat, Spec blocks his eyes and proceeds to flashbang Hanayama point blank. Spec used that opportunity to put Hanayama in a rear naked choke. Anybody else would have been cooked except for Hanayama. Bro pulls out his special move and destroys Spec's arm down to the muscle. And Spec was flabbergasted. While yowling, bro fingers Hanayama in the ear, only to get grabbed by the throat by Hanayama. And Spec was strangled with one hand, finally getting the defeat he wanted so bad. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the last video did great, and that's why I'm blessing you guys with this one. Now, the next video is going to be covering Dorian and Sikorsky, who in my opinion, caused the most damage out of all 5 inmates. So if you don't want to miss that video, please like this video and hype it, and make sure you're subscribed for the next part. With that out of the way, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.